Hello, tutor and classmates. My name is Reina Paola Beltrán. Here I am studying English at una university right now in the city of Pasto. In this moment, I am coursing the course Research Project. In this activity is the final exam. The tutor is Egner Suarez. The introduction. The course of the research project of the bachelor program in English as a foreign language of the National Open at Distance University UNAD provides students with the methodological tools for an effective research process. It also allows them to identify research guidelines to carry out research projects that will be applied in real context, educative context. This will be possible through a detailed study and the application on the steps of the investigation. Therefore, the relationship between educational research and the covering course is manifest in that throughout a research project can identify educational problems and find possible solutions. Therefore, the present collaborative work aims to identify a problem in the teaching of English in order to design a research proposal. The first is to identify the research problem. In the educational institution San Jose de Llanitos in the municipality of Acevedo Huila, there is a problem that fundamentally harms the community in general. The implementation of strategies that had been proposed for some time to improve the quality of education have failed. Therefore, there is a continuous weakening since the community in general doesn't have the technological tools to know and discover the environment current. It should be mentioned that in the English classes there is evidence of the monotony, routine, lack of interest and motivation in the class practice, for which the educational community needs an urgent solutions, which allows the integration of information and communication technology in the classroom teaching learning process. This is question: what is the importance of the implementation of information and communication technologies in the teaching learning process of the foreign language, and how they contribute to the content of classroom practice? Looking for motivating methodologies that allow for the awakening of interest for the learning of English in children and young people of the educational institution San Jose de Llanitos. Is that the meaning of the problem? In the south of Huila, in the municipality or Acevedo Huila, bordering with the department of Caquetá in the rural zone, is the educational institution San Jose de Llanitos, in which many deficiencies have been identified in the teaching learning process of the foreign language, so that the students present many difficulties in the four skills: reading, speaking, listening, and reading and writing. Here are the possible causes of these difficulties: lack of an English teacher, lack of teaching strategies of the learning process, lack of the resources lack of teaching methods that provide the necessary tools for learning the foreign language. Besides the difficulties presented, taking into account the learning abilities, in the speaking is fundamental in the learning a language. To achieve it, you need to acquire certain skills. At the San Jose Janitos educational institutions, the students aren't motivated to voice and practice simple dialogues, which is why strategies that provide tools and that allow the constructions of the conversations through interaction with other people are needed. For example, dialogues in interviews, dramatizations. Other ability is the listening. Although difficult and to listen, audiovisual tools can be used to improve this ability, but since there aren't no resources in the institution educative, other strategies must be adopted. Context. General identification of the institutions. Name of the institution is San Jose Janitos Educational Institutions. Numbers of venues is 6. Total students 300 students. Total teachers 14 teachers. Address Vereda San Jose Janitos. Department Huila Municipality Acevedo. Charter Mystic Official Modality Academic. Levels offered preschool, basic primary, secondary, basic, educational for youth and adults. Objectives. The general objectives is carry out a research proposal that allows the implementation of the information and communication technologies in the teaching learning process of the San Jose Janitos educational institutions as a means to strategize the learning environments in development of the process academics, especially in the area of English. The specific objectives. First, note what information and communication technologies are and its impact on the teaching and learning process. Implement the use of teaching strategies with support in the information and communication technologies. 3. Use empowerment activities of the technologies of the information and communication technologies to be interesting to students. Use the motivating strategies to awaken interest in the learning the foreign language. And finally, encourage and participation in activities so that there is feedback from student to student and teacher. Justification. In the educational institutions San Jose Janitos of the municipality of Acevedo Huila, ASA identified a problem that affects the educational community in general, as there is evidence of lack of interest in the classes, especially in the learning of the foreign language, since the classrooms practice they have fallen into monotonity, and there are no resources of technological tools that can be included in the applied methodologies. Therefore, a research proposed is necessary that allows in the first place to identify the cause and consequences of the problem, to then implement the strategies of solutions and accompaniment to the identify the problem. Theoretical background. Language learning strategies. The idea of using strategies in the area of a foreign language learning comes from research made at clarifying what a good language learning was doing, that is, what characteristics made one learner more successful than another during the learning process. The results showed that not only what is necessary to have the necessary skills as well as motivation to learn a second language, but also the active and creative participation of the students in the process were required through the application of individualized learning techniques. The use of information and communication technologies in the teaching of English. In the era in which we live, technology is influencing the lives of human beings in an accelerated way. Present at fields is a tool that facilitates processing all areas of knowledge, planning, directing, executing, and controlling in an organized manner, and of course in the area of education cannot be alien to this type of progress and tools. For the realization of the project, the constructive model is used, giving special emphasis to the autonomous learning that on the period postulates where it states that learning in individual are according to the cognitive level of each person. Other strengths of this model are group work and meaningful learning objectives that are proposed in the process of learning the English language. Research approach. The methodological approach development in this project is that of action research. In order to obtain the information, a sample of the population belonging to the educational community of the San Jose Janitos Educational Institution, Municipality of Acevedo, Huila, is working especially with the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grades, with a total of 17 students distributed on the course. The action research belongs to the quality approach and tries to solve questions that are derived implicitly or explicitly from an analysis of the reality of the communities and from the cumulative practical experience of the researcher. The action research model allows the members of the community to be integrated as active researchers in the process instead of taking them as investigative objects. The action research, because it belongs to the qualitative approach, has the following characteristics. First, it is inductive, or better, quasi-inductive. Its methodological rotor is more related to discover than to the verification. Two is it is holistic. Okay. Three, it is interactive and reflective, and finally, it doesn't impose previous visions and is open. Analysis on theoretical reflection, interview to the rector of teachers. Other is approach to relate teachers as kids with assessment tools they use and what the result had been so far. There is a dialogue with the computer teacher in charge of the interactive room to determine if a technological tool is being used in English area, in the English area. About using the following techniques: surveys, interviews, observations. Okay, thank you for your attention.